Amid rumors of a rift, Vice President Sara Duterte says House Speaker Martin Romualdez has nothing to do with her decision to run for Vice President. She noted that the Speaker was not in the picture when she made this decision. More details on what prompted this statement later in the show.
A Muntinlupa court denies the bail petition of former Senator Leila De Lima on her only remaining drug case. Now the big question is, what's next for De Lima's quest for freedom after over 6 years in detention?
And after bidding their emotional goodbyes as hosts of the noontime show Eat Bulaga on GMA, the iconic trio of Tito Soto, Vic Soto, and Joey De Leon, collectively known as TVJ, are now part of TV5. Other members of the Dabarkads will also be joining TVJ. What can we expect from their new show? We'll find out from host Joey De Leon later on.
Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Gretchen Ho.
And I'm Sean Yao.
Girls, the saga we've been watching, not the TVJ one.
Yeah, well, we have
Which
two sagas. Please
in
be
politics,
clear.
in politics, malakas ang ulan today pero malakas din ang parinigan sa politika. Well, Vice President Sara
That's
Duterte
right.
has issued clarifications following her exit from Lakas CMD. In a statement, VP Sara insists that House Speaker Martin Romualdez had nothing to do with her decision to run for Vice President last year. She said this in response to remarks from Cavite Representative Elpidio Barzaga, who claimed that the Speaker had been instrumental in her candidacy. Barzaga is president of the National Unity Party, which recently reaffirmed their allegiance to Lakas CMD, where Speaker Martin serves as president. VP Sara stepped down as chairperson of Lakas CMD, citing political toxicity. Now, despite these back and forth statements, VP Sara said her full support for the Marcos administration remains. She says that the administration remains stable and strong amid these developments.
Another big story tonight, the Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court Branch 256 denying the bail petition of former Senator Leila De Lima. Again, this is her only remaining drug case, and what she used as a basis for her bail petition, remember when she was taken hostage last October inside Camp Crame, and the court said, well, sorry, that was a one-off. It was an isolated case. Your life is not in danger. Bail denied.
And sabi rin ng court na there's great probability that the crime was committed, but that doesn't mean or that doesn't reflect the results of the investigation, right?
Right, and with this denial of this bail plea, De Lima will now remain in detention while the proceedings continue. De Lima now has one pending drug case before the Muntinlupa court, as the two other drug cases have already been dismissed. The court said it anchored its ruling on the testimonies of prosecution witnesses. But even with the denial of the bail plea, the court clarified that it does not reflect what the final outcome of the case will be as the presentation of evidence continues.
We believe that there is strong grounds in the petition for bail of our sister. But then again, this is the decision of the court. We are saddened. We are hoping to see our sister free very soon. Again, justice delayed. Justice denied. Our sister continues to be denied justice, to continue to be denied her freedom. So we really hope and pray that she will be free very, very soon.
Today is the first official day of work for the new secretaries of the Departments of Health and Defense. After taking his oath yesterday, new Health Secretary Ted Orbosa was welcomed today by DOH employees as their new chief. Orbosa says he's ready to lead the agency, and among his priorities is the implementation of the Universal Health Care Law. President Marcos also instructed Orbosa to address the rising cases of tuberculosis in the country, as well as the increasing cases of teenage pregnancy and HIV among the young population. Also, making healthcare accessible to more Filipinos.
Very important, sabi niya, tulungan yung mga mahihirap at walang access. So gagawin ho natin lahat yun, and hopefully we can be able to provide to the Filipino people yung healthcare na gusto ni President Marcos.
Over in the Defense Department, heavy rainfall marred the traditional arrival honors for newly appointed Secretary Gibo Chodoro. Despite this, he was given a warm welcome by DND officials and personnel, led by Senior Undersecretary and former OIC Carlito Galvez Jr. As a returning secretary, Teodoro was tasked by President Marcos to focus on reforms in pension system for military and uniformed personnel. Teodoro also maintained that the agency will remain firm in protecting its territory in the West Philippine Sea. He admits, though, that one of the biggest challenges that DND is facing is modernization.
And now here to talk to us more about his plans for the Defense Department, we are honored to have newly appointed Secretary Gibo Teodoro joining us via Zoom. Secretary, thanks for making time for us. We appreciate it. Let me get right into it. Philippine Ambassador to the U.S. Jose Romualdez, Babes Romualdez, said in an interview with One News that he sees the AFP's capabilities to be at par with our neighbors in the region within 5 years. Diba? It's a great, ambitious goal. Is this possible? Can you talk to us about your vision for the modernization of our AFP, our armed forces?
Well, in relative parities, actually that is doable within 5 years. With physical parities, maybe not, but with relative parities, because there are ways of leveraging military capabilities. That being said, there are a lot of issues that we need to face and a lot of whole nation approach initiatives that we need to take together with our legislature, because modernization is not a one-off thing. It is an evolving thing which should keep in par with evolving and disruptive technologies and happenings. And whatever you do, you have to have the means to sustain the use, training, and employment of whatever you acquire.
Marching orders from President Marcos is to untangle the country's military pension system. Finance Secretary Benjamin Jokno says it's currently unsustainable. What is your plan, and do you agree with current proposals that uniformed personnel need to contribute dahil kulang daw po sa pondo?
In any pension system, really, no. There must to be sustainable. There must be some form of contribution. Now the question is how much and where does this contribution go to? I think our military personnel are well aware and are very willing to contribute to a contributory pension system, just as long as they see the benefits of this, and that their money is going to be well protected and will be able to take care of their needs when they are no longer in the service. That being said, a self-sustaining fund needs time to germinate. We have to load it with initial capital and make it grow. So perhaps it is not it's not sustainable in the long run if we do not reduce the expenses. But what the goal is to reduce the amount that the government spends on funding the pension requirements of the AFP, and on the other hand, the police. No, because I believe that our soldiers, we do not discount their contributions, no, the risk that they take in order to serve our people. We are very thankful for that. No, however, if we continue with an unsustainable financial position, then we will face inflation and other dangers to our economic growth and our financial stability as a country, which nobody wants to see. Now, it is really a question of communication, communicating to them that it will be the least painful a process as possible for them, that there are non-monetary benefits that can take care of them, that still joining the military is a very attractive proposition, despite the fact that there may be some contributions to a system. And that I will have to study, I will be briefed on it thoroughly, and talk to the economic team that's going around, because a lot of work and a lot of investment in time and study has been put into this. And what I wish merely to add is coming from the financial sector too, that whatever fund or system is created should be governed by prudential standards, and the officials that run it will will have the fit and proper guidelines that the BSP requires for financial managers.
All right, Secretary Gebo, it has been about 14 years since you were last Defense Secretary, and things have changed, geopolitically speaking, here and around the
definitely.
region, of course. We just want to know, did you get any marching orders from the President with regard to territorial defense, specifically what with the new EDCA sites, this new tension, of course, between the U.S. and Taiwan, and of course, the foreign policy shift back to the USA, or so it seems?
No, I mean, our internal defense capability buildup is our own business. There is no shift to the United States and China. We remain neutral in other countries' conflicts. But we want to give the Philippines as a value proposition, as a strong country with a capable deterrent capability, as a bastion of freedom, as an investment destination rather, as a tourism destination, and no country can do that without a strong, credible deterrent or a strong national defense. So our engagements are for the purpose of building our own territorial defense, and these should serve Philippine interests and not anybody else's. We do not interfere with other countries' geopolitical squabbles, just as long as our territorial integrity is respected. The first marching order of the President is really the MUP. And let me reiterate what he said. Our territory is our territory. We will defend it to the last inch. And our territorial rights and our territory is set in stone through UNCLOS and other norms of international law, and cannot be bargained away or frittered away by changes in administrations or passage of time. That is in our Constitution, and that is our duty.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there for now. Thank you so much for joining us, Secretary Gilbert Teodoro. You can catch more of Secretary Teodoro later on on the Chiefs, coming right after the big story.
Well, up next, here's our next saga. Tito, Vic, and Joey and the rest of the Dabarkads find a new home in TV5 and other MediaQuest platforms. Joey De Leon will be joining us to talk more about that transfer when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News. It's official. Tito Soto, Vic Soto, and Joey De Leon are moving to TV5 a week after they announced their departure from Producer Tape Incorporated.
This has gotten social media in a tizzy the whole day. Super excited. Everyone is super excited.
For weeks now. And actually, were you guys surprised? Kasi sobrang dami na nagda-drop ng hints. I think even the hosts themselves, TVJ, they have been dropping hints that they would be moving here. And now it's confirmed.
Well, after 44 years, I mean, being an institution and just seeing it all happen, parang I still can't believe that, it could happen that way, that they're here.
Right. So that's what we know about this deal so far.
Well, Tito Sen has said that MediaQuest has offered them the best platform, right? Because it's not just cable TV, there's also the HD channels, there's also the online, there's also our affiliation with Smart.
That's
so
true.
talagang
And
this
that
has
we air
given them
abroad.
correct.
Wow.
This is giving them the better reach, the better platform.
And
So
they
we're
said
so pleased about that.
They're happy with a fresh start.
Yes.
That they've been given a fresh start.
Exactly. So now let's get his reaction on this big move to TV5. We have with us live via Zoom tonight Itbulaga host Joey De Leon. Good evening, Joey. Welcome to the big story. We're so happy to have you with us. Kamusta po? Anong feeling nyo?
Okay, masaya. masaya at ang gaganda nung kaharap ko.
Salamat po.
Parang Tita Vicky and Josie.
Sino po si Vicky?
I-google po natin yan. Oo.
Pero paano niyo pa nakita naka-shades kayo?
Kaya nakawa na.
Nagpalit kayo ng damit Kaya
Oo
di na
nga,
nasuot
napansin
nyo.
ko.
Napuno ng luha eh.
Ay, ayun nga po.
Ayun nga.
Oo. Dito po, patatawanin naman po namin kayo.
Oh, unang-una, Joey, ano po ba yung, may pangalan na ba itong bagong show ninyo dito sa TV5? Kahit hindi nyo muna i-share sa amin para hindi natin ma-spoil yung surprise, meron na bang bagong pangalan ang TVJ and the Barkads?
Okay. Sean, no? Sean.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes,
Yan.
but you
Oy,
can call me Vicky
congratulations.
if you want. Or Josie.
Best wishes, ha? Sean, best wishes. Si Reg, congratulations. And Gretchen, what happened? Gretchen, ano nangyari? Wala pa eh. Wala.
No comment po, no comment. Oo, Gretchen Barreto?
Hindi. Ayan, ito, dapat makasama sa Bulaga. Ito yung
Nako.
magluluto eh.
Nako.
Okay, ano ulit tanong mo? Sean?
Meron na po bang bagong pangalan ng
Okay.
inyong bagong show dito sa TV5? Kahit
Okay.
hindi nyo po muna i-share. Yes, may naisip na po ba kayong title?
Kanina, doon sa frontline, naiyak nga ako kasi ako nakaisip yung title na yun eh. Tapos, pero naiyak din ako dahil sa tuwa, dahil kung sino pala talaga yung naka-conceive o nakaisip ng isang title, word mark, sabi ng wife ko, sa kanya talaga yun. So, we'll see. Gusto namin, yun din. Kaya lang, parang kakalabanin namin yung sarili namin dahil depende doon sa kabila. Pero, hindi importante yun. Importante yung content eh. So, pwede namang eat lang.
Eat lang.
Let's eat. Eat.
Pwede rin.
Kasi nabulaga na tayo today.
Pero alam po namin, no, ilalaban niyo po yung pangalan, yung Eat Bulaga. How about the iconic theme song? It is still being used by GMA7. Yun din po ba gagamitin ninyo o gagawa po kayo ng bago?
Hindi nila ginagalaw, Gretch. Alam ko, hindi nila pwedeng gamitin. Kay Big Soto yan eh. Kay Big yan eh. Pwede naman namin gawing mula Makati hanggang Tondo. Pwede naman ganun lang.
Mula Mandaluyong, mula Timog hanggang Mandaluyong. Ganun po ba?
Bahala sila. Importante yung laman. Nakakatuwa lang dahil yung support na pinakita ng taong bayan, ng madlang people, ayon sa Showtime, yun ang tawag nila sa audience eh. Ng, both here and abroad, at lalo na sa inyo, mga taga TV5, so ayan, 1PH, nakakatuwa, siguro, ngangal-ngal namin talaga, kaya lang napipigilan pa namin eh. Thank you very much ulit.
Alright, Sir Joey, isa pong tanong sasama ba yung buong Dabarkad sa nakilala namin through the years? Yung mga kasama ninyo na nag-resign, sasama rin sila dito, pati na rin daw, bali-balita lang, yung mga ibang nawala, babalik daw sa ere. Totoo ba yun?
Well, si Francis Magalona, hindi na siguro. Hindi na, nawala sabi mo eh. Hindi ra, then, yan ang mga magagaling na naging host ng Eat Bulaga. Magugulo pero magagaling. Solid kami. Si Alan Kay, Joe Apaw, si Maine Mendoza, si Ryan Agoncillo.
Si Alden po, kasama.
Buong Dabarkads, nandiyan na sa salamat.
Ay, hindi
bigyan
pa
kami
kasama
ng
si Alden.
pagpapalil.
Yeah. Actually, Joey,
Depende sa kanya kasi nakasign sa kabilaan.
Oo nga.
related dun sa question ni Sean, no? There was may usap-usapan, there was talk na, actually, one of the executives of TAPE said in a separate interview sa kabilang network na pressure daw yung ibang hosts to step back from Eat Bulaga because maybe a few guys is yung ano doon, yung insinuation. Can I get a reaction? Totoo bang may na-pressure yung ibang kasama niyo na mag-step back? Naiwanan din yung show?
From joining the new one.
Oo, from joining the yung new
Eat
Eat Bulaga.
Bulaga
Ano bang tawag?
Kapuso.
Oo.
Oo.
Hindi. Immediately, right after, pumirma agad sila eh. Kung yun ang ibig sabihin, ha? Kung wala eh. Hindi namin, huy, dito na kayo. Hindi kami nagganon. Through the years. Basta gusto nyo sumama, nandito lang kami. Wala. Talagang parang alam mo, bago pa maging kapatid kami, magkakapatid na ang turingan namin. So, walang nagsisikretuhan sa amin. Pinagtatanggol namin. Kaya nga kami nangyari ito dahil may pinapatanggal sila na 3 hosts eh. Yun ang totoo. May pinapatanggal silang 3 hosts.
Sinong host yun, Joey?
Well, sige, sabihin ko na sa inyo ito. Pinapatanggal nila si Raisa May, yung bata, si Ryan Agoncillo, at saka si Paolo Ballesteros.
Bakit daw?
Pati may mga papasok sila sigurong talent sila. Pati si May na actually nung una eh. Pero sabi ko, hindi pwede eh. Tanggalin nyo na kami lahat.
So, clarify ko lang, because gusto nilang tanggalin yung 3 yon, you guys decided na, okay, out na rin
Pati
kami.
pati mga official ng production, hindi lang sa host.
Okay.
Actually, pati mga portions namin gustong palitan. Ewan ko, di raw sila natutuwa. Si Tito ang maganda magpaliwanag yan. Si Tito ang palaban.
Sir Joey, ito po, lagi po sinasabi ng Halosos family na hindi daw nila maintindihan saan ba yung naging turning point, paano naging ganito yung gulo, kalaki yung gulo. Sabi rin po nila parang the talks were doomed from the start. Ano po masasabi nyo doon sa statement na yun?
Well, sagot na yan ni Tito. Sagot na. Maraming babaguhin eh. Kasi nga, after 44 years, babaguhin mo, di magkakagulo talaga. May tatanggalin, may papalitan, may ikakat na sweldo. Na totoo. Across the board, malaking slash. So, magulo. Talagang magulo. May magugulat kayo after 44 years. Wala namang sitting pretty, everybody, kumikita, ganyan. Biglang nag-change ng management, we're taking over. O din, siyempre, magkakagulo. Kami nga, nagulat eh. Ganon lang reaction namin.
Alright.
Kaya, ayan. So, ngayon na nangyari. Ako nga, ang mabigat yung nabitawan ko nung isang meeting eh. Sabi ko, hindi ba pwedeng paabutin nyo lang kami ng 50 years tapos sipain nyo na kami. Yun ang word ko mismo, sipain nyo na kami. Hindi, ito. Yun ang nasabi ko. Ito, first time ko sinabi ito. Ayoko nga, dahil ayoko na magulo, may away, ganun. So, basta masaya kami, nakalipat na kami sa bagong bahay namin.
Sir Joey, isang tanong lang, no? Bago tayo mag-move on, since we're on this topic, yun nga, speaking of sipaan, no? May pinapanood ako isang video kanina sa TikTok at meron tayong kopya nitong video, i-roll natin ito ngayon. Nung nag-goodbye episode po kayo, no, hawak nyo yung mic, tapos may isa pong quote-unquote gesture kayong ginawa. Sadya ba yan? Aksidente po ba yun? Ito na, nag-roll na yata yung video. At kung hindi siya,
Pero,
kung sadya siya, para kanino yan?
Hindi, wala. Nagkataon lang yan. Ewan ko. Kasi may hawak akong sombrero eh. Nilipat ko. Ayan. Hindi.
Naka-blur eh.
Hindi. Yung dirty finger, hindi ako nagaganon. Tsaka hindi ko gawain yun.
Okay.
Hindi.
Ito na lang, Sir Joey, I'm sure maraming nagtataka. Alam natin, medyo 1 week pa lang at medyo ilang oras pa nga lang since the official announcement na lilipat na kayo sa Kapatid Network. Kailan po kayo ready mag-start ng day 1? I'm sure everyone's so excited for the relaunch, for the rebirth, for the renaissance. Any idea when?
Hindi, ganito lang. Sila ang bahala dyan yung side ng Media Quest, no? Tsaka yung ibang namin sa production. Kami, whatever ibigay nyo sa amin, tatanggapin namin. Basta, ang importante, may bubong na kami, may bahay na matutuluyan. Hindi kami humihingi ng sobra. Natuwa na kami nung nung tanggapin na kami, sana everybody happy na lang. We will see. Pero kung yung airing ang tinatanong mo, siguro first week of next month, tong malamang umere na tayo. Si Regina, kaya airing lang. No?
Correct.
Kakabalik lang po, yes.
Oo, new mommy
Yeah.
po natin.
Congrats, kaya nga
Ay, updated kayo, ha?
Thank you.
Siyempre, alamin mo muna ikaw, usap mo si Chiching.
Oh,
Ano yung chismis?
I-follow niyo po kami lahat.
Alright, huwag kayong mag-alala, Sir Joey.
Ilang
Under
baby mo
renovation
na
na po ang inyong new house.
Teka
New
lang,
home.
may preferred
wala
time slot kayo, Sir Joey? I know it's Media Quest decision kung
wala.
noon time or sa gabi or ano ba, may request kayo?
Yeah, kahit saan.
Kahit
Kahit
saan?
saan, kahit
Oh, kahit madaling araw
Nihalong
po.
acting ko, pero...
Welcome na
Okay.
welcome po
Ano
kayo.
naman yun?
Oo.
Pag tinanong kami, ano ba ang record nyo? 44 years lang po. 4 na networks, 8 presidente.
Ayun.
Ano namin, so bahala na po kayo.
Okay.
Kahit madaling araw, di ba? Ganun. Wala, may yabang. Hindi.
Thank you so
Oy,
much.
salamat sa lahat nga pala, girls.
Salamat po, Sir Joey, sa pagpapaunlak.
Thank you so
well,
much for
ano
joining
naman,
us.
Kita pa tayo at marami pa tayong magkakataon mag-niig.
Sa hallway
Thank
po.
you.
Sa hallway dito sa TV5.
Sige.
Sa gabi po,
Salamat
baka
sa inyo.
dumating si Francis Magalona.
Kayo naghanap po.
All right.
Thank
you so much for joining us,
Yeah.
Eat Bulaga host Joey De Leon.
We have more stories for you when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
You are still watching the big story here on One News. What else do we have tonight, girls?
Ito, mini saga. This week pa lang. We've been reporting and talking about unrest in several volcanoes. So again, we urge everybody to stay alert, keep safe, and don't panic. Our big picture tonight is a reminder of how natural disasters can happen at any time. This award-winning photo of the Mount Pinatubo eruption by photojournalist Albert Garcia speaks for itself. It was able to capture the cataclysmic explosion back on June 15 of 1991. Pinatubo's seismic activity that led to this began on June 7, 1991, 32 years to this day. Aray, nakakatanda yun. And that iconic shot won first place in the 1992 World Press Photo Competition in Amsterdam and was hailed by National Geographic and Time magazine as one of the greatest images of all time.
Dear, that photo was aging you again.
It was. I'm older than that photo, unfortunately. But fortunately, that's all the time we have tonight.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
All right, thank you for tuning in and have a good night.